Sangam, for the wonderful quiz. I enjoyed a lot, at least. Okay. So moving on to next session, we have Ramiro and Sangam. Sangam is the Docker community leader and Octeto Bangalore community lead as well. Also terrific ambassador. He has published K3's courses under title Lightweight Kubernetes with packed publication. He's a blogger at www.engineitops.com, where he writes mostly about CNCF open source projects like Golang, Docker, IoT, Kubernetes, and Linux kernel. He also provides trainings and consultancy around Golang, Docker, and Kubernetes. Check some of his free content created by him on the Goofer Labs, Terrific, and Docker Labs. And another speaker we have is Ramiro. He is one of the founders of Octeto. He has spent most of his career building cloud services and developer tools. Before starting Octeto, Ramiro was an architect at Atlassian and a software engineer at Microsoft Azure. Originally, he's from Mexico, but he currently lives in San Francisco. Over to you, Sangam and Ramiro. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. That is a nice introduction. Let me share my screen. So I'll be sharing my entire screen. So let me first share my particular browser screen. Yeah. So welcome everyone, and hope everyone is good. So today we are going to present some of the few 5 projects around Octeto. Octeto is an open source tool for Kubernetes. So you can test and deploy, develop code directly on Kubernetes, and it's use a BuildKit as a service. So thank Ramiro also with me. So I will first 5 minutes I will give a chance to talk to Ramiro to share how he started Octeto, and after that I will start a demo sessions. I'm sharing screen to you, Ramiro.
Okay, well, hi everyone. Ramiro, thanks for joining us tonight. It's been so much fun already. I really like that presentation on Q. So now we're going to talk a little bit about Octeto, how the whole thing got started, and then Sam and I will show you some really cool things you can do with it, demos on all these different kind of projects. So Octeto started as a developer platform for Kubernetes. We call it this way because Octeto starts with that open source project that Sangam showed you. That's on github.com/Octeto/Octeto. And oh, hold on, I have the wrong one. Sorry about that, I opened the wrong slides. Here we go. So as here today to talk about Octeto in 5 really cool ways, Sangam and I. Thanks for the presentation. So Octeto is a tool to develop applications in Kubernetes. It's open source, it's on GitHub. And it all started because 2 of my really good friends and I, Pablo, Ramon and I, we've been working on the space of containers, developer tools, cloud applications for a very long time. And as we started getting into containers and then Kubernetes, we started to see all these problems around how hard it was for us as developers to get started with Kubernetes and to develop. We had, we knew about containers, we understood Kubernetes, but even when we were at that point, just building applications took a very long time. It's just very slow. You had to build your container, pull, deploy manually for every single change you wanted to make. So this is something that we, the 3 of us decided, this is really bad. This is something we can do. We can put some of our expertise and ideas to make better. And that's what Octeto came out of. Octeto is really 2 big pieces. The first one, the open source project that Sangam already mentioned. And number 2 is Octeto.com, a full end-to-end platform made for developers who want to use Kubernetes, but don't want to go through the hassle of having to build their own cluster, run their own operations, all that. If you log into Octeto, it is free to try for developers. You log in, and we give you everything you need as a developer to build a cloud native app. And this is, compute, memory, storage, but we also give you a free private container registry and also a build service, so you can build, preview, and ship your apps, everything on this platform, everything on top of Kubernetes, where you can take advantage of all these really cool things, but without having to worry about everything that's under the covers. You don't have to run nodes. You don't have to worry about keeping etcd running of GKE or EKS. It's very, very focused on developers. So if you're interested in cloud native computing, if you want to learn more about Kubernetes, if you want to try what we're building and see what we're talking about when we talk about an improved dev experience, check it out. Octeto.com is free to try. So today we'll show you 5 really cool scenarios around Octeto, both the open source and the cloud projects we're working on, and just to show you how easy and fun it is to build cloud native apps with those we're building. So Sangam is going to start with our first one, which is Octeto Stacks. So Sangam, it's up to you.
Yeah. So I'll be sharing my entire screen. So there will be demo and slides. So let me give a 2 minutes to open my slides. Hello everyone, and thank you. Today's topic is 5 cool way to get started with cloud native development on Octeto. So let's move. Thank you. You can follow me on different social network, and Ramir already introduced what is a Octeto. And let's see what is Octeto. Octeto is a tool for Kubernetes, where you can whatever your Docker or Kubernetes application you can directly run on Octeto Cloud, and you need to just install a particular CLI using this particular link, and that's it. After that, you need to, if you are a Windows user, you need to download it .exe file. After that, you need to set an environmental variable. That's it. So let's move the Octeto. When you go to octeto.com, there will be a home page. After that, you need to click a start now for free. So we have a particular free service for everyone who can learn a Kubernetes using Octeto Cloud. Is very fantastic tool. I'm using from last around 4 to 6 months, and I'm enjoying it. So there will first talk is now Docker Compose for the cloud native world. So there are talks around Docker Compose for Kubernetes, and what kind of solution provided by Octeto Stack. So we'll see the Octeto Stack, how you will going to run the Docker Compose file. What is Octeto? What are the commands? So I'm starting a demo. So let me open my terminal. Let me show you first what is how to access the Octeto credentials and all. So when you go to octeto.com, after that you need to start on the button called start now for free. After that you need to log in using a particular whatever your GitHub credentials. After that it will open up this particular screen, and where you will get a namespace. You can add here namespace, whatever namespace you can share namespace. You have this much resource free for user. We have a developer pro version, and for team, and that is another enterprise version. So first you need to download the credentials. When you click the credentials tab in UI, you'll get this config file. You need to configure. Otherwise, using this particular command export whatever your config environment, you need to configure this scoop whatever downloaded file, you just copy this thing and you can just open in your particular terminal. So let's see without terminal first. I will explain how to use this application without particularly. Let's say we have particular a ready stack. Let's say you don't have time to particular run application. So I will show you a small demo without like we have already you can just customize it. You can use openfast like anything, Prometheus, RabbitMQ, Redis, and even terminal based applications. So I will show first particular application. We'll show a movie based application. So we have, you can edit the configuration password and whatever you need and version from UI directly. So I will deploy. When I click a deploy, it will start deploying this particular movies application. So it will take a 2 to 3 minutes. So it will show you it's processing what's happening, its logs on particular UI, and it will show you what kind of the resources used, how what is the replica and disk, whatever you are like given, it will show in this particular dashboard, and it will show booting and which particular applications are running. So after that you will get a particular, after booting you will get a particular link called running. So we'll wait for 5 minutes, so it will run. So now we'll see this particular movie application is running live within a 2 second. So you can see the output, just wait, it's loading. So now you can see this particular movie application is running. It took me a 5 minutes to create, and I can directly destroy or show detail what kind of the resource, what is the links, what is the front end, what is the back end. I can destroy from here. And we'll see if you want to run a Docker Compose file directly on using UI. So we'll see that first. So let me deploy a new application, Octato Stack. So I click the Octato Stack. This is your YML file, Docker Compose YML stack file. So you need to give an image and whatever replica set you want, ports and resources, what are the memory and whatever image, different image, multiple Docker files or images you can here give here, and you can edit this particular this thing, or you can give a version, whatever version you want, and after that just click on deploy button. After clicking deploy button, it will start deploying stack. So this is automatically based on UI. So I will show based on this particular. So first command you need to put to connect. I will let me maximize my screen. Is it visible? Hope it's visible. So you need to put particular Octato login to connect your CLI. Already I have downloaded. So it will give this particular link, and after that it will open your particular Octato account, and after opening this Octato account, it will show you you are successfully logging to your Octato account. So it will show you this particular thing is connected. Let's see the whatever Octato namespace we have and we are configured like correctly or not. So for that you need to just type a command Octato namespace. So after Octato namespace, it will automatically connect it to particular my namespace. So now my CLI is connected to the particular my account, whatever the Octato account. So let's see the stack application. So what do you need? So we have a particular Octato, particular this stack YML file, Docker Compose kind of file. So where you provide a name, whatever the service and whatever the your image you want and replicas you want to specify. So let's see our existing whatever the running using the UI. We saw seen this particular application is running up and running. This is a microservice based application, cat and dog. So it is running directly. So I will now show my code how I run manually. So I will destroy this particular thing first. So I destroyed this particular thing. So let's do some hands-on, proper hands-on. So it will take 2 to 3 minutes to destroy. And let me start. So ls. So what we have in this particular application is similar voting application. So first thing you need to do is you need to type command octaro stack deploy wait flag. So what it will do, it will take a 2 minute and it will start deploying your particular application, whatever this octaro stack YML file. It will take that, it will create a resources, whatever resources you need. So it's directly connected to the my octaro account. It's not running on my local Kubernetes environment, it's directly running on the cloud. It will show my particular whatever my username and whatever my image, it will build. So it will take 2 minutes. You will see here, it will show you when you refresh this thing, it will take a 2 minute and now it's created. And now it's progressing. Now you can see the CLI. So it will show what is the process happening. So stateful is not ready, is taking time. Successfully deployed stack voting application. So it took me a 2 minute to deploy this particular on. So you can see now directly this application is manually created. So I want to change now into this particular cat, dog and whatever. So let me open that particular file to change my code and let's do some redeployment. So what I will do, I will put open. In this particular folder, I have a particular app.py file. So I will open that. So you can see my code here directly, whatever py file. So I have changed a particular this variable. I can change into OSCONF now. Yeah. So I will save this particular file. So I saved this particular file. I've changed the code now. So it need to be changed. So let me redeploy it using this particular whatever voting folders. We'll see what is under the voting folder first. cd oat ls. So what we have Docker file, we have code, we have octaro YML file. So what I will do, I will just click a octaro up file, octaro up command, or I will create a octaro particular using octaro YML file. I will create a pods and deployment, whatever resource it's need to be run. So I will octaro up dash f octaro YML. So now it will take a 2 minutes. So I will see my particular this screen. So hope it will deploy soon. So I will refresh this first. Let me show you.
I think you're not showing your screen anymore.
What?
Can you check?
Yeah, I have shared my.
No, it stopped sharing it. Just reshare your screen, please.
I think it's showing. Let me share again. Oh, it stopped. Now is it visible?
Yep, all good.
Yeah, sorry, there is some technical issue. So now I changed my particular code resources. So now particular, I have changed the code here. So this is my code. I changed this option A and option P, and I redeployed using this particular command. If you missed it, so what I did is just I created this. I checked this whatever app Y file. I created code in here. After that, I jumped in oat file. After that, I have checked the particular this. I created the I deployed Octado YML file using Octado up command within 2 minutes. After that, it will start service on 8080 port, and after that my application is running. You can check live. You can check this particular link is not currently live. You can check this output on your screen. So this is a particular Octado uh, stack. So we will destroy this particular using commands. So you need to just give a particular command called Octado destroy. Sorry, or you can do Octado down, so it will disconnect. Let's keep it running. I will show one by one demo, and we'll see the all demo once again. So let's see the next demo I want to show you is Octado push. Let me show you samples. Yes. So now I have a couple of example. I will show a Python example. So how to run. So I have Python application, same application again, Python application, voting application. Just I want to show you how to use Octado push. So I will use Octado push command. So when I hit Octado push, so what it will do, Octado give a build kit as a service. So you can see it's building using a build kit, one of the Docker project under Moby. So it will directly run your create a registry on particular Octado, and you can save your registries on Octado also. So now particularly this voting application is deployed. Let's see the application. It's taking time, I think. So there will be error. Let me destroy this one. I think I redeployed like 2 times. Yeah, now it's fine, progressing. Don't know why it's showing. Let me see the code. So it's now deployed. The Octado push is a command to whatever your development, build and deploy. It will do all three things or redeploy things. So this is you can use Octado push command. It will do three things. So what it's doing is it's importing whatever manifest file. So Octado has a particular manifest file. After that, this Octado kit, it will run on build kit. So using build kit, it will build your particular whatever Docker images. So build kit is a more faster way, using a container D. Top of that is build kit a project, is part of Docker open source project. So after that, what it's image building, it's creating a registries and it's building and it's pushing. Let's see the Octado up. So I need to create a new namespace. Yes. So let's see, it will create a new application. Yeah, it's creating new application. Now it's working. So it will take a 2 to 3 minutes to synchronize your whatever local file into the cloud, and it will just take whatever the changes in the code. It will take that binaries and it will pull to the Octopus cloud, and after that you can check this particular application is running. Like, you can check this particular, it will show the it's need to be run. If you use free account, it's need to be run on 8080 port. So there will be a error. So let me see this up. So the you need to connect always your CLI with your internet. That is the thing you need to do. After that, development environment active. After that, it will synchronize all file. It will build everything. After it will start a service and it will run on 8080 port. So let me see some other application if I have. So it will show you the particular same application. So thing is that I want to show just you can use Octopus push command to deploy, rebuild your all things using BuildKit as a service. So let's move on next thing. So I want to show next thing is using VS Code. If you want to enable this all things on VS Code using this particular, if you want to use Octopus, so let me show you particular. Let's see the VS Code. So we have already a plugins for the particular Octopus. So you can go to this extension. You can just search Octopus in extension. We have two plugins. First plugin is for remote connection to the Octopus cloud. You can directly connect. After that, we have you can switch the context between, and you need another particular extension for Octopus is SSH, remote SSH. So I have particular application here. So this is a Go application. So just you need to install a Go on your particular. We have a particular. You need to just go to this Octopus YML file, and after clicking this Octopus YML file, you will see already I have installed Octopus whatever extensions. So you need to just click Octopus up. So I will just put Octopus up. I will click. After that, it will connect with remotely with Kubernetes, whatever Octopus extension through Octopus cloud. So starting after that, it will attach your whatever. If it's true persistent value, it will connect with attach your persistent value with it. So it will take a two. After that, it will pull the all the images, whatever images you have is building. After that, it will start synchronizing thing. So you just need to click one button. That's it. After that, it will open the SSH open remote connection to this thing, and after that it will show whatever your CLI thing what is happening, and is you can see in output session what's happening and what's the command. It will directly like start a server, and it will you can directly check. So you need to just click one button. That's it. So we'll see what's happening in here. So I will see this application hello world application is now deployed, where I using VS Code. I have just clicked one button. I installed two extension. One is Octopus Kubernetes, one is SSH, and one is Octopus Kubernetes context. So I will just go here and I will see this screen, particular screen. After that, I will go. I can just do can use particular. So I will go to this particular. Oh, check the particular. So I have three files, so I can just say Octopus up remote environment. So inside, so I am inside a pod. So I need to run a particular main .go file. It will take a 2 minute. It will starting a hello world server on particular 8080 port, and after starting this server you can go and check this particular screen. Hope we'll get output. Now we will see output as a hello world. So in this particular this main.go file, we have a particular this kind of code where we just printed hello world. So on we created one server on 8080 port. So I shown you 3 demo. I want to show another one cool thing you can create and you can use easily. Just one thing. So I want to so you can check a blocks. We have a wonderful blocks. So this is thing I want to share. So recently from community member created a particular this Octado app. So now you can install this Octado app and mobile, and you can manage your cluster, Kubernetes cluster directly from mobile. You can check what's happening, and you don't need to spend a more time. You don't need to spend a more time on like if you want to stop these particular pods and all. So you can use this app, Octado app, on available on Play Store. So we will share a link later. So I am sharing screen to Ramiro. If I miss something, Ramiro will cover. Yeah. So I am sharing my screen, Ramiro.
Perfect. I'm gonna take over. That was great, Sangam. I don't think you missed anything. That was really cool demo. I hope everyone is as excited as I am to see all these different super cool tools. And just to give a quick recap of what Sangam just showed you. First thing was Octado, the open source project. Then he talked about Octado Stacks. Octado Stacks is our take on creating the Kubernetes version of Docker Compose. It's a format that is very similar to Docker Compose. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar, with the idea to make it very easy for Docker Compose developers who are used to Docker Compose to move to Kubernetes without losing all the really cool things, the ease of use of Compose, the fact that you can deploy your entire application with one command, all of those things. And then he showed you our VS Code remote plugin, which is something that we built that to make it easier to develop directly in Kubernetes. A lot of the things we do at Octado is really to make it easy for you as devs to start using Kubernetes, to be fast at it, to be agile, to have a really nice dev experience, and also to make it easier for you to work along with your team. At the end, everything we do is focused on how can we make teams more effective, how can we make it easier for all of us to build cloud native apps that we are certain they work, that we know that if we're building it locally, we know they're going to work in production, and to make them as close as possible, as replicable as possible, and all those things. So on that line, I think Sangam already showed you other really cool things. So for my side, what I wanted to show you real quick is Octado Actions. Octado Actions, I don't know if you're familiar with GitHub Actions. It's something that GitHub launched middle of last year. It's a workflow engine that you can hook up to your GitHub repo to perform actions based on GitHub events. In our case, we built Octado Actions because we wanted to be able to do things like what Sangam just showed you, deploy an application, automatically build it as part of the full Git flow. One that I'm going to show you today is how to use this GitHub application actions, especially for creating a copy of your application for a PR. This is a very common scenario. A lot of CI/CD engines support it natively these days. We call them preview apps, staging environments. So anyway, if you go to github.com/octado/actions, you'll see them there. And they're very simple to use. And in 5 minutes, I'm going to walk you through what it would take to build a full-on action for your repo. The actions we have are pretty much exactly what Sangam showed you on his demo. You can log in to get the Octado credentials, Octado Cloud credentials. You can create a namespace, you can activate it, you can build a container in Octero's build service, you can deploy an application, you can apply a change, or you can run push. The idea with this is to make it the same flow you will do in your local computer is what we want to be able to do on the repo. So it's automated, so it's easy to reproduce and all those things. So for this demo, I have here the same movie app that Sangam showed early on. This one, it's on my GitHub. Everything I'm going to show you is on my GitHub repo, so I'll share the link later if you want to try it out yourselves. So it's here, and it's a very simple movie app. It has two services, API backend. It's all in Node, and it's modeled as Octero stack. This is similar to the one that Sangam showed. It has a proxy. It has a front end and an ingress, basically, called movies. Then it has the front end, API, a job to fill in the database, and MongoDB as a database where it stores all the information. So normally, I'll be developing locally. I'll make a change, and I'll send a PR. And my teammates will see a bunch of code. But as applications get more complex, that is not good enough, right? I just don't want to show the code. I want to be able to see the impact of this code. And once you have multiple services, it might not be as clear or as easy as just seeing what line of code changed. So that's where Octero Actions can really help you out. So in this case, what I want to show you is how to create an action and how to use Octero to run your apps as part of a PR. So first thing you do is you go to the Actions tab on your repo. You see I've been playing with this for a while already. So we're going to create a new workflow. In this case, I'm going to just do it manually. And we're going to call this workflow preview, or PR. It's a workflow that's going to be triggered when a PR gets opened. So the first thing you do when you send an action is you have to pick the event. In this case, the event is going to be on pull request. When someone opens a pull request on my master branch, I'm going to trigger this event. So it's going to run a job, and we're going to call this job PR. It's going to run on Ubuntu because we don't really care. For some other jobs, you might care that runs on Windows, on Mac OS, on specific VMs. For this, it can just run on Ubuntu. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check out our code, of course. And now we're going to start using Octero. The first thing you do whenever you want to use Octero Actions and whenever you want to use Octero in your own machine is you have to log in. In this case, there's an action for that, login. For login, we're going to use, you need to pass a token. I already created the secret on my repo. Before you use our actions, you have to do that yourself. The token is your API token. So just go to cloud.octero.com, go to settings, and you can get your API token there. Okay, once I log in, the second thing I'm going to do is, okay, I want to activate my namespace. What that namespace action does is, as if you were running Octero namespace locally, it will talk to Octero Cloud. It will download all the needed credentials and certificates to use your namespace. You could config, a search for the build service, some extra information that the CLI and the action needs to talk to Octero. All right, so now that we have the credentials, let's run our app. To deploy our app, we're going to use the deploy stack action. This action has an option which says build. What build does is it would build your changes into an image and push that to the Octero registry and then deploy your application. And a name. In this case, we're going to give the stack we deploy a name, movies, dash the build number, just to make it easy for us to know where it came from, right? And then finally, something I like to do is to update the PR with a URL where anybody that's reviewing my PR can go and see my code, like my live app. In this case, I'm going to use another. I did not build this action. This is a open source action I saw. There's something really cool about GitHub Actions is there's a whole marketplace where you can see what other people have done. So in this case, I'm using, it's called a comment on PR. It's simply at the end of the action, it's going to push a comment into the PR. And the comment is just a simple link saying, hey, you can review these changes live at, and then that's the URL. That is the URL of my application. This changes per application is the one I'm deploying for this. So you can look at preview. You can see how it looks like. This preview tool will also run a linter for you, so in case you're missing something, it will be there. So great. Then we can just commit. In this case, let's make a PR, and we're going to call this PR preview action. And something really cool is as soon as this enters, you'll see that because this qualifies as a new PR, this is going to trigger the event we were talking about. So let's create the PR. And it will take a few seconds. It will load. It will load the event. It will start running. So what I did was I opened a previous PR with the same code just to show you what it looks like. So once you have your PR and the check already ran, you see something like this. In this case, this check failed. And I'm going to show you. You can see on your tree your different jobs. In this case, there's a single job called preview. And you can see all the different actions as they happen. It logged into Octero. It activated a namespace. In this case, it failed with the stack. And then you can dig deeper into this and see why it failed. Something that I really like about this action is because everything is happening on your Octero Cloud account. At any time, you can log into Octero and see what happened. You can get the logs of your application, the state. So it makes it really easy to replicate your CI/CD failed, to test something that you saw that maybe someone in your PR mentioned. The idea is to give you this live environment where you can test things and see them with your code instead of just reading the code changes. So we go here, it picked it up. We can see the details. All right, so while this runs, I'm gonna go to cloudoctero.com. This is our free cloud for developers. Again, log in for free. All you need is a GitHub account, log in. And you'll see that it'll appear here once it's running. So it's deploying the stack. In this case, it's making all the build. This is going to build all my changes, going to push them to Octero Cloud, all those things. So as this runs, you'll see that the build is finishing. Then it will start doing the deployment. So while this runs, something I want to mention you is that if you look at the action, we never told, this is how you do the builds. This is how you do a deploy. And that is part of what we're pushing with this action. We really want to change how people build apps and move them from thinking of all these different steps into thinking of, I have code, I want to deploy it. And we have this application manifest that I'll show you while this runs. And that's all you really need. So if you look at this manifest, just like Compose, right? It tells me where am I building it and the image to run. And then with this information, it's all it takes for the action to figure out where to build the image, where to push it, how to redeploy it, how many instances to run. It's all based on this manifest. But the idea is just like Compose. You do Compose up and you run. You do Octeto create a stack and you run. You do Octeto create a stack on CI/CD. You build your changes and you deploy it. So let's go back to our action. Still running. So we'll go here, refresh, see if it got to the deployment. Yes, now it's going on the deployment. Something's failed. In this case, it's because my quota got exceeded. So let's just destroy this for now. Let's clean up stuff. And you'll see it running. As you saw, because I have the app running on Octero, it's very easy to do things like this to understand what happened, why did something fail. With other ways of doing CI/CD, you don't have this transparency, you don't have this issue use. It's the same command I can run locally. So it's all about all these easy things. So once this PR is over, and I'm going to show you on the other one just so that we can move on to the other demo. You're going to get a link like this, where hey, review the changes live here. Someone comes, clicks on the change, and they'll see your application up and running. Everything is there, and you don't have to tell them how to build it. Again, we want to make this very agile. If you want to involve people who are not developers, maybe your PM, a designer, if you're working on something visual, maybe even a customer, and you can share a preview of the work you're doing for there. This is all different use cases that we have some of our users using with Octeto and Stacks. Anyway, moving on. Just in interest of time, I'm going to move to the other demo. So one of the things we did when we started with Octeto was that we wanted to make it easier to build all types of cloud native apps, not only kubectl apply, not only Helm. That's why Stacks came to be, and that's also why we're looking into how to integrate Octeto with other cloud native tools. One of the integrations I like the most is OpenFaaS and Octeto. OpenFaaS, for those of you who don't know, it's a framework service tool to run serverless functions on Docker Compose, Kubernetes, and other platforms. It's very easy to use. It's the simplest way I've seen to build functions. And because it talks with Kubernetes to launch your function, it integrates really well with Octeto. So I'm going to show you how that works. So first thing, we're going to go back here. So let's say, in this case, you see, just to complete my previous demo, the app is there. You see it running. If I go back to my PR, you'll see that the message was here. Well, it's waiting for it to be over, but anyway, I'm going to destroy it. And one of the things we do with Octeto Cloud is that we have a public catalog where you can deploy multiple things. It's pretty cool because it has a bunch of cloud native apps already pre-configured for you to use as a developer. You can deploy CockroachDB, a scalable DB, Flux, if you want to do GitOps, inlets, if you want to connect to some other local resources, MongoDB. In this case, for this demo, we have a full-on instance of OpenFaaS installed. All you have to do, you can configure whatever you want, but it's already pretty tuned for most dev scenarios. So all you need to do is deploy. When you deploy, it will talk in your namespace, it will deploy the entire application. Same thing we saw with movies. In this case, is deploying the entire OpenFaaS. So this will take a couple of minutes. At the end of it, you have a fully configured OpenFaaS instance ready for you to build your functions. So while this runs, I'll go to my terminal. And let's make a directory, demo. OpenFaaS has the server side and a CLI side. The CLI is aptly called FaaS. You can get it from openfaas.io. The link is there. And FaaS allows you to create functions, build them, upload them, all the life cycle. So the first thing you do when working on OpenFaaS is you have to log in to your gateway. So in this case, I'm going to go back here. This thing is still running. So before logging to my gateway, I need that running. I'm going to create the skeleton of my app. OpenFaaS has a super handy command called new, where you can tell OpenFaaS, okay, I'm going to create a function. I'm going to use the template that's called Python 3 Debian. This is a template that spins up a Python 3 environment, a function on a Debian OS. In this case, I'm going to use the prefix Ramiro because that is my Docker Hub account. OpenFaaS, when you build a function, the function becomes a container. The container is pushed somewhere. And in this case, the address of my gateway that's already pre-configured. So I just click enter. What this is going to do is going to get the template from OpenFaaS repository and create all the code for me. So at this point, if I do code, it'll be here. And I have my full function here. A function has a YAML that describes the template, the function, the name, and the URL of your gateway, and the code. This is what really matters, whatever is under the name of your function. In this case, this is what the Python template looks like. It's a function that just spins off a Python process. You don't have to worry about HTTP. You don't have to worry about invocations. It's just a function. So I'm going to go back here. You see it's now running. I click on this link. It's going to ask me for a password. The username is admin. In this case, the password is 123 bang. You can configure it when you deploy it. So in this case, I'm going to go back to my terminal, and I'm going to log in into the gateway. when you deploy your OpenFast instance in Octero, you can customize your password. Please do. I'm using the default one. You should not be doing that, but it's just for demo purposes. All right, it calls, it stores the credentials, and I'm ready to run. In this case, the first thing you do is you do fast up. What fast up does is it's going to build the image. It's going to push it to the registry. In this case, I did it before. That's why all these layers already exist. It's using Docker, using BuildKits, using all these beautiful services. So it's up and running. So at this point, I could just simply call my function. And I can do curl function. In this case, the function is just an echo. So I can say, hi from OSCONF. And it will reply. All right, to that point, it's kind of cool. I just deploy a function. It is running on Octero, so you don't have to run anything locally. You don't have to run Kubernetes locally. So real quick, what goes next? Now I'm going to take you to the same scenario that Sangam showed you with Octero up, but now we're going to do it for a function. So I'm going to open a terminal. I'm going to do everything in VS Code just to make it simple, single window. Let me make this bigger. There we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to my function folder, and I'm going to run another command called Octero init. Octero init will analyze my code and generate a manifest for me. So I go here, and you'll see that the manifest. Two things I have to change for functions. First, I'm going to use the same image that I'm using for my function because the Python image already has everything I need. And the other thing is, I'm going to change this address for the address that my function expects, which is home app function. If you look at the template that I have right here, you can see there, this is very key, is because it creates a mapping. You have to see that it's home app and function. Anyway, I save this, and then I just run, just like my main example, Octero. What Octero up is doing is it's going to talk to Kubernetes. It's going to figure out my deployment, and it's going to replace this function with this container that has my dev environment. In this case, I have all the same files that I have on my IDE. Octero will automatically synchronize any changes. So if I do something like hi, here you'll see, and I refresh here, you'll see it appear there. If I change it here and save it, you see that it's here. Anyway, the idea with this is that you can still develop with your IDE everything locally, but because your environment is inside your function, you're testing everything the same way that OpenFast expects it to be. So in this case, what I'm going to do, in the case of OpenFast, f watchdog function watchdog is what starts the whole thing. So if I do that, then let me just go back here. I can call my function. Okay, great, same as before. But now I can make a change here. For instance, instead of saying rec, I'm going to return saying you said plus rec, which is the content of the request. All right. All I did was save. I didn't do anything else. I go back to my terminal. I call my function again. And you said the changes were automatically applied. You don't have to rebuild your containers. You don't have to redeploy your function. It's all there. If you go back to Octero Cloud, something that's really neat is it shows that your function is here, it's running, and everything is there. Now, just to finish this demo quickly, one of the really cool things about using Octero for development is that you're using the same platform you're going to be using for production. So you can test things fully integrated. In this case, I'm going to launch a MongoDB instance. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify my function to store and read from MongoDB and return back a value instead of doing it all locally. So I'm just going to, first, I'm going to go back to my dev environment. Remember, this is running on my function. If I do something like pip install pymongo, this is actually installing it on the function. Once you're done, you should refresh your pip install and doing all those things. Like you can just go here to your requirements and say, okay, install pymongo. It's there. And then finally, when you're running, I'm going to show you. I have the code here. We are running out of time. I'm going to really quickly go here. I'm going to, in this case, move this. I'm just going to hard code my password. My password is, in this case, Octeto. And just whenever the request happens, I'm going to instantiate my instance. And I'm going to figure out if it's a post, if it's a get. If not, and then what it's going to do, if you look at the code real quick, is going to get the body of my request. It's going to save it as an attendee for this call. And it's going to return the third ID. And if I do a get, it's going to give me all the things. So I do this. I go back here. Let's say we just call it like this. Oh, hold on. And I go back to my terminal. And restart my watchdog. Run my function. Okay, it failed because Mongo doesn't exist. I have to install PyMongo. So it's from PyMongo, I think. Okay, I need to install. So you see that everything is running, live coding, it's live reloading. I'm really testing things on my environment. So all these small things, normally you have to wait until you build your image will be there for you. And see, it's empty. So now I'm gonna say Ramiro is here, it's attending. And let's say Sangam. And I'm gonna just do a get. So at this point, you see everything is fully integrated, MongoDB, Kubernetes, OpenFast, Octeto, in a very agile, very easy to use way. And that's the demo I have. This is how you can develop functions very easily, just as easy as you build everything else with Octeto. You deploy your app using whatever tool you prefer, Stacks, Helm, kubectl, OpenFast, and then just use Octeto to develop, to run your apps, and use our service. It's the easiest way to run Cloud Native apps. Everything we do, everything I show you here is free to try. It's open source. So just go here, github.com, Octeto. If you like this, please give us a star. Issues, if you find them, PRs, we're always looking for people to collaborate. And finally, Sangam is the organizer of the Octeto Bangalore Meetup. So please join us. We're pulling out a lot of really cool events. Sangam, I don't know if you want to mention anything about that. And
yeah,
we
are hosting a Octeto Bangalore meetup every month once, so you can join this Octeto meetup group on meetup page. That's it.
All right, well, you go meetup.com/Octeto-Bangalore. Cool events. If you want to be part of the community, present. We're always looking for people to join us. And if you have any questions, we have a session. If not, I'll be on the Slack and on YouTube for anything. So thanks. I'll share the slides later today. All the links are there. But if you just go to octeto.com, you will find everything. So I hope this was fun. I hope you find it useful. And happy coding. Go ahead and start building some cool Cloud Native apps. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your time. And keep enjoying the conference.
Thank you, Ramiro and Sangam. It was a great session. And yes, it was fun also learning Octeto. I could see there were questions from Vikas, Ankit, Jaideep, but you already answered, you and Sangam, on the YouTube channel. Thank you for that. If you have further questions, you can just tweet or DM them. You can join Slack channels and reach out to them. So moving on to quiz, Sangam, over to you.
Sharing my screen. Is it visible?